Kayron kept saying, I just knew that there was more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like I was supposed to be touching and doing more, and the schoolhouse just wasn't fulfilling that. I knew I needed to be teaching and educating, you know what I mean? But I just felt like I'm supposed to be touching and educating more people. How do I do that?
Right. And again, going back to the fact that you're a 5-1, your message is universal. Your message is for the masses, okay? And that means that you came here for other people. And when you really dig deep into that, you're living out your purpose. You're living out your design. Like, and you
it feels
somehow
so good.
and innately had this feeling in you that, and thank God you're not a person that will shrink to what somebody else says, because I'm sure people would have been like, why are you leaving your good high paying job?
I used to. I mean, even now, there's people who are probably like, there are people now who are probably like, what is she doing? She's already in a position to, do this or do that, or, she's already, and I'm supposed to be bigger. I'm supposed to be educating more people.
And I didn't know what it was.
It's just the product is just a means to get to more people. Like, it's not the product that I'm stuck on. It's the ability to educate and open people's minds to more. I know I'm about to help a lot more people through this avenue to believe more, believe in their own abilities, like the magic of believing. Like, people lose or don't. I was people. I know this is true. Don't go to their next level because they still have to work on themselves. And so I learned that through my first big business, through paparazzi. Is I got into it at the beginning, like going through the black and white. Like, all you gotta do is show this, and all you gotta do is create this, and all you gotta do is. And I realized, like, it doesn't matter how great my systems are if people don't have the confidence or believe in themselves. And I learned then that my platform isn't this product. My platform is helping people grow, which is why I don't hold them like or get mad when they leave. No. If you feel confident that you can do something else, I've done my job, because the person that you came to me as didn't have that confidence. And now you feel confident enough to lead this and do something else. My job is done.
And that's dope, because it's for you, it's not the medium. Like, you don't care about the avenue that it takes, right? It's the outcome. And that's what I love and I appreciate. And even when it comes to the state of where we are going in America, we're going to have to do things differently. And if you're going to pay a power bill, if you bought a house and you're going to pay a power bill for the next 15, 20, 30 years, right? Whether it's your house or whether it's one that you're going to use as an investment property and rent out to make you income, you're still going to have to pay that bill, right? And so every month you go without with paying that bill and it not being an investment. So if it's not an investment, what is it?
The bill, you're just throwing it away. It's a liability.
It's a liability.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, so the same way it comes to like cars. I mean, cars isn't an investment. Well, depending on what car you get, but you can get an investment. Yeah. You can get a car that will appreciate and that will give you a return. But most of the time, these cars that we're getting turns into liabilities. That means that once we get it paid off, it ain't worth much.
But even, and that's where the education, even that thought process, right? There are so many people who are not going to see it that way. Like, this is what, if I was to say I get frustrated or anything, and I don't get frustrated. The old me that's why the first opportunity I needed to grow within that so that I could be successful in what I'm in now. But it doesn't bother me, people's lack of knowledge or lack of understanding. So like, if you are paying $200 for an electric bill, and I'm telling you that we're going to now not have a liability, it's going to be an asset to you because it automatically increases the value of your home 4 to 11% on average. And I don't operate anything average, so there's that. But on average, it's going to increase your property 4 to 11%, and it's no longer a liability; it's an asset. And this $200 bill that you're always going to pay, we have to do an analysis, so I can't say it's everybody, but let's just say in this scenario, your bill now is $150 set, so it's not going to go up. Whereas the price of your electricity is going to increase minimum every 2% every year. But in the last year, the average in America, your electricity bill has increased 10%. So that's 10% this year, Who knows what's going to be next year? Not 2%. I'd put my money on it's not going to be a 2% increase next year or the year after that.
Drop me in the comments if your bill has increased within the last calendar year. If your electricity bill has increased, I don't care what if it has increased within the last year, drop me in the comments, because I'm telling you,
and here's what I encourage you to do. Go look, because it's one of those bills you can't go without paying. So most people haven't even paid attention that it's going up. They're just paying it. They're just paying it. Not even noticing that it's going. This is not one of those things where you can be like, well, we're going, how you go look at your grocery bill. Well, when stuff gets hard, one of the things we go look at is our grocery bill and be like, you know what? We're going to stop buying these high-end steaks and we're going to go on chicken, or we're going to stop buying name brand. No more going to Publix. We're going to Aldi or whatever the location is by you, right? But you can't look at your electric bill and say, what are we going to do? And here's the thing, because I looked at my electric bill and I was like, we need to stop using so much electricity. But this is what I did. I looked at my electric bill at last year at the same time and look at the kilowatt usage to see if we're actually using more electricity. No, we're actually using less. No, not even same. We're using less right now than we used last year. So there's no turn off light, and it's more because they're charging us more per kilowatt. So I can't go to my family and be like, turn these lights off. It ain't gonna matter. It's still gonna be more. We're currently using less.
Wow.
That's why I knew I was in the right industry.
So my cousin pointed out to me yesterday, I had a long call with my cousin, Brandon Ray, shout out to you. And we were talking about how if you actually pay attention to what's going on in the government, as far as what they're doing when it comes to increasing or decreasing employment rate, increasing or decreasing the interest rate, you can kind of determine where we're going, right? And so because they're controlling it. And so even when it comes to who do you think these power bills report to, these power bill companies report to? They ain't out here just operating like freely. So, they're having to do what is said to be done, and we're on the, the wrong end of the stick. My grandmother always says, make sure that you're getting the long end of the stick. Well, when we come to things like this, we gonna always get the short end of the stick unless we become educated, unless we become, we can take control over certain things. So, right now I'm a digital nomad, and baby, hey, it's working for me. But the moment I become a homeowner, that is something that I absolutely will be investing in. Is anything that is going to cut me off and get me out of the matrix, paying these bills that we don't necessarily have to continue to pay for the rest of our lives, I would definitely take advantage of. And so with that being said,
two things that if I could just say this really quick, like if people just want to think about, to your point of how the government basically maneuvers and how they're moving, if we take two things into consideration, if the government wants you to move to solar, then wouldn't it make sense for them to squeeze you so that you're uncomfortable with your electric bill, so that you're looking for an alternative, the solar panels they want you to get? There's that part. The second part is that the government has, if we go check, you can fact check, the government has required the electric companies to upgrade or update their system because the power grid is so old. And when you have now electric cars that are going to be added to this power grid, that's going to be pulling more electric. We're already, New York and California have already had blackouts because of the weakened power grid, right? So they're saying to them, you have to fix it. Well, it ain't free for them to fix this system. They have to put money towards it. So where are they going to get the money from? The people who are paying electric bill. They're not going to cut back at employees, their fat paychecks. No, they're going to say, we're just going to increase how much they got to pay for it and use that money to fix what the government is requiring us to fix by a certain day. So that's two reasons. If you just go look at the government and do your own research, why your electric bill is going up. One is the government wants you to get solar panels. And two, they're requiring the electric companies to update their systems, and they're paying for that by increasing how much you're paying to cover what the government says they have to do.
And I guess it makes sense, or actually it makes sense. And the reason why it makes sense, I think about other countries, right? When I think about like Africa, when I think about—
they have way more solar panels than we have. We so behind.
Well, but the interesting thing is there are a lot of countries that they have to cut their electricity off at a certain time.
Certain
Like the
time.
government electricity off at a certain time to save and to make sure that there's enough for the next day. So I understand why the government here is trying to be proactive. That is something positive that they're doing. I'm sure it may be something on the back end that I ain't thinking about, but on the front end,
Always.
it looks positive. I ain't gonna give them all the credit, but I will say on the front end, it looks like a positive initiative. And again, that is something that our community of people need to know about and need to take advantage of, and not be reactive, be proactive while you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
and now is the proactive time period. The reactive is what's going to happen because the government stops giving you money for these panels in 10 years. It's a 10-year bill that passed. So what's going to happen at the end of the 10 years when electric bills have increased in 10 years is guaranteed. And then your home has solar and it's time to sell. And your neighbor's house does not have solar. Everybody who's buying homes in 10 years is going to be looking for the solar panel home. It's just going to make financial sense. So you're going to be reactive and you're going to wait until it's zero down. It's gone. And now your home isn't competitive with everything that's in the market. So,
which actually reminds me too, because I want to ask you about the way they look. So, back, it kind of reminds me when we used to have okay, I'm gonna take you back down memory lane, y'all. And for y'all who been born in the 90s, you may not even have seen these, but we used to have huge satellites that were in people's yards. Like, okay, not Dish Network, not, not that. Okay. These things were huge. I mean, they were like at least, I don't know, 10, 12 feet. They were like huge satellites that were in the yards. And so we went from that to having like the Dish Networks. Now they're probably, this size. And then now we go from just having, where you could just have like cable or whatever, just going through your house. But solar panels remind me of that because they used to be so like huge and bulky and just like, and so now
blue, like, blue, so they didn't blend into nothing.
So now they look more modern. I love the name that you came up with because it is Modern Solar, right?
Modern Solar, yep.
Yeah, I love that because it helps to take the stigma out of these big bulky solar panels that would be all over the place to now something that's less noticeable, and this just makes everything looks more modern. So I just wanted to bring that point out, is that it's not the past. We're in 2024. Okay.
This is true. Come on to the present future with us.
Right. So that's really dope. And I'm glad that I was able to be on the forefront of just seeing the transition, because I remember I would call you like years ago and I'd be like, but Christi, like you should be. And now this is something that I can really see you doing, and it's saving lives. It's helping people, and the way that you guys have built the program, people who not only want to save and take advantage of that way, they can also get in there and make some money, even if you just want to refer it. So,
and with that point, that's why I'm really talking, especially since that I was watching CNN and they have that 6% rule or commissions are changing for realtors. And this is a perfect, and that's like, if I was to pick a niche of people that I'm going to help, I'm really going to help brokers who are real estate brokers and their team of realtors, because, and I even looked this up because I was like, once they sell a home, how do you help or make money off your previous? Like in business, you want to be able to get repeat customers. But if somebody buys a house, like I don't even know what the average is, but they even tell you don't buy a home if you're not going to be there at least 5 years, because if you're there 5 years, that allows you to make some profit or earn some profit off your home. Before 5 years, you're basically going to either come in the red, like you're going to sell it, but you're going to be, negative. So you at least have to wait 5 years before you can actually, pitch back to that customer. When we think about sales, like in jewelry, we have new jewelry every day. So I get customers every day who are coming back for more. It's not like lotion. I got to wait for them to finish using all the lotion before they need some more.
Right.
Well, this is one of those things where if you've been a realtor or a broker for 5, 10 years, and let's just say you only average 2 closings a year, well, they're homeowners. You can now offer them something and they trust you. So you can offer them the solar. And as a broker, you will have a team of solar consultants, and it works the same way. So the same way you get a percentage from the sale of a home on your realtor team, the same way it works for our solar brokers. Our product is literally the same system. Our product is just solar panels as opposed to the actual home itself. And so that's who I'm really going to be spending my time educating. So if you're a solar, not a solar, but if you're a real estate broker and you guys have your monthly meetings, I would love to come to your monthly meeting and share with you how this can be an additional stream of income for your real estate brokerage or for your team as well. Like if you really want to help your team be able to combat the reduction in their commission based on a new law they passed, this is the way for them to do it.
Right. And on our exit, as we're exiting out of this particular conversation,
you know I keep going.
No, I'm saying, but it turned out to be very dope. But I do want to share the fact that, like, because you had systems and processes in place, you didn't have to leave your primary thing to be able to start this one. It is going to require a different type of energy, maybe, because it's a learning curve. It's something new. It's something, that you actually can pitch to your same audience, but then there are other audiences that you're pitching to as well. So it's a different type of mind where you need to take that. But I love the fact, and just even knowing, being with you so closely for the last year, I know you put systems in place. So I just want you to kind of talk to us about the reason why you were even able to have the energy to do this based on everything else that you've done.
I absolutely love that you asked that question, because people are always saying, I hear and see this all the time, is you got to have multiple streams of income. And if you don't wait until one stream actually becomes a stream, you'll never have multiple streams. Like I have made multiple 6 figures in my business and have built it up that now that it's running, like it doesn't take me away. If one of my teammates comes in with a problem, I've been doing this so long, I can answer that in 2 seconds. Well, if I was just starting with this business and then start another business, then the other one would just fall. It would fall to the wayside, because there's literally, like right now, I can say as organized and as, on top of things I am as a person, that's just like the way that I operate. There would be no way that I could successfully run both of these businesses. Something would lack. And I can confidently say that my first business is not lacking in any way. Now, does it look differently? It does look different for me as a leader, but I also will say that I think that's for the best for my team. Sometimes we hold people back because we're always there. We're always available, and they never learn how to be independent. And to run a business, you have to be an independent thinker. You have to be a problem solver. If I'm always solving your problems, you never learn how to solve a problem, and I become your crutch. So even in this small amount of time, I've seen my team grow because I'm not available to just be there. And they're not asking me as many questions because they know I'm not available. And so I feel like that business is going to grow stronger because I'm not always there. But I also did put things in place. Like I've added, what's this month of March? So I've added 12 new business partners in that business since I've started this business, and they're all doing fine in my opinion. They're all doing, because I have systems in place. So everything they need to know to be a success is already there. They're a part of a community. So I don't have to be the answer. They have a community full of people who've been in a business 8 years to 3 months. And I tell them, you may not even want to check with the person 8 years. The person who gets better to help you is the one who's been here 6 months, because they know exactly what you're experiencing and exactly how to get over what you're experiencing. Whereas somebody who's been in 8 years hasn't experienced it that way. What they experienced it 8 years ago, the world was different then. The landscape of social media was different 8 years ago. So, it's to your point. If anybody is like, oh, I want to do something else, I want to add another stream, make sure your bread and butter, because it's still my bread and butter. It still pays all of our bills. It still, provides for our household. And that bread and butter has systems in place, has processes in place, has checks and balances in place, so if you're like one of those people like, well, I want to start and do something different, I'd say make sure you have a full stream. Steady consistent stream and number one before you're going to and when I say by stream, there's ways to take one stream and have different ways of making money. Like that one stream, I make money on Instagram, I make money on Facebook, I make money on my website. So it's still one stream that has feeders into it, that multiple ways of feeders coming into it, which is how I'm able to do another stream that is, like you said, as far left from the first stream as it is. Like they really are, which I like because I don't want to mix the two. Right. So I like that, you know, the majority of the people in stream one are not going to be interested or in this stream over in stream two. And the majority of people in stream two, like people who get right now in this climate who are going to jump on solar, aren't $5 accessory people. They're a different, you know, group of people. And I like that. Right. But still, how it works for me is I'm still educating both people, both groups of people. Great question. I'm glad you asked that.
Well, and I love it. And I'm here for the ride. And even when you brought it up, I think it was like, I don't know, was it December is when you thought about this? November?
Yep, it was December.
At the time, I was like, for me, it was a no-brainer. I was like, hell yeah. And because you're coming in at such like the perfect time, the barrier of entry was like super cool. Like it's just, and then the people that you're working with is super cool. So it was a no-brainer for me. And I'm glad you said, you know, yes to the opportunity. And I cannot wait to see what this unfolds and how this unfolds, because like I said, it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
So it's interesting because I didn't know that this is how the conversation was going to go today, but it was much needed because, again, I definitely think our audience, our community, these women who are out here making it happen, we have to look at everything, not only just adding more income, but we need to add more assets to our life. And so the assets come into things like solar. And then, you know, when it comes to adding more income, if you're already a beast at what you're doing, why not go help spread the word to somebody else and take advantage of getting this additional stream of income? So I love it all. And I cannot wait to just kind of, like I said.
Yeah, and I appreciate the support through it all. Like, you know, it's not always easy when you believe in something and the people around you are like, why are you doing that? That don't make sense. That's stupid. That's, you know, have you thought about that? And it's nice to have the people in your circle. I think that's a solidifies you have the right circle, is that when you go to do it, people are like, girl, yeah, you gonna kill that, or yeah, you need, you know, and that's what you were. That's how my husband was. Like I literally, and this is how paparazzi was too. I think I've done a good job of keeping a good supportive group of people who know me, you know what I mean? So they don't make decisions. Like if somebody else came with the same thing, they probably be like, no.
You ain't gonna stick with it. You ain't gonna stick with it, baby. Just stick with your date.
But because people around me know me, and they also know that if I have my mindset on it, there really isn't anything you can say. I'm going to do it because I've done my research and I believe in it. But it is nice to not have to worry about the people whose thoughts I do care about. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to brush out people who you don't like. You're like, you're not where I want to be. Why would I care? But like you have built a very successful brand, and you do have the eye for good things or things that you need to run for. So I would take in consideration what you would say. And so I appreciate you being like, girl, yes, go.
Yeah. I was like, what? Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Look, y'all know what to do. We are in year 2 of this thing. So we do need for y'all, if you are listening to this episode and you are not a subscriber, if you're not a part of this community, we need you to hit that subscribe button, hit this like button for this episode, drop us a few comments. Look, are you a homeowner? Did we pique your interest today in figuring out what this solar thing is all about? Because if you didn't know that you didn't have to pay an upfront amount to get solar installed in your home, all you need is an analysis, and Christi can get that done for you. A free analysis, right? And she can get that done for you. So if it costs you nothing to get an analysis to see how much would this look like, how much would you save, how much would you, if you're not going to save, even if you break even and knowing that you don't have to pay this same power bill for the next, I don't know, the 15, 20 years, whatever, like at least put yourself in the position of knowing, because knowing is half the battle. I don't know what cartoon that was, but when it said knowing is half the battle. Right. But yeah, so we appreciate y'all for tuning in to year 2 of the Point Blank Period podcast. And we will be back for more. So y'all go and enjoy the rest of your day. Stay tuned. Peace.
Peace.